Well, good morning, America. It's the morning report where common sense, truth, and a little chuckle still matter. So let me ask you something. Why is redistricting a threat to democracy when it happens in Texas, but a celebration of representation when it happens in Illinois? Let's talk about it. You see, the left has mastered the art of righteous outrage, but it's selective. And man, it's friggin' exhausting. In Texas, if Republicans redraw congressional maps after gaining population, that's voter suppression. That's Jim Crow 2.0. And that's undermining the will of the people. But when Democrats in Illinois slice and dice the map like they're prepping onions for Iron Chef, well, that's restoring fairness. What it is theater. It's politics dressed up as moral purity. And it's fake as Kamala Harris's poll numbers. Let's not pretend we don't know the game. Okay, what happened was that Texas gained congressional seats because people are fleeing blue states like California and New York, Illinois, faster than rats off a sinking ship. They're chasing lower taxes, they're chasing jobs and freedom. So Texas redraws its districts to reflect population growth. It's what the Constitution says we're supposed to do. But suddenly, every blue check on Twitter X becomes a cartography. A cartographer. I can never say that word. That's the people who know about maps, and they become a civil rights attorney. The lawsuits are flying. MSNBC, they're crying on camera. And the DOJ suddenly remembers there's a Texas? Racist! They shout. Anti-democratic, which is really funny coming from the left, seeing what happened to Joe Biden. So let me remind you folks, there's nothing more democratic than representing where people actually live. Now, what's happened is that the Democrat representatives in the state of Texas have left the state en masse. The word is they got on a 76-seat private jet or chartered jet, and they flew to Illinois to hang out with J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. But in Illinois, the population is actually shrinking. Surprise, surprise. People are moving out. And why wouldn't they? They have high taxes, they have failing schools, they have skyrocketing crime, they have one-party rule. Why would people leave? But do Democrats accept that loss of influence with grace? No, no. I gotta say something about the left. They don't take the L's well. They don't. They don't do grace. Instead, they cook the map so hard, like it was drawn by Picasso with a hangover. They gerrymander Republican districts out of existence, like they're erasing history. Do we hear any national outrage? Not at all. CNN goes, huh. The New York Times calls it bold. And Democrat voters call it necessary to protect democracy. No, my friend, it ain't protecting democracy. That's choking it to death with a smile on your face. I've said for years that the part that drives us the most crazy is the wanton hypocrisy. And let's call it what it is. It's partisan hypocrisy. And it's sort of baked into the cake. These folks aren't actually upset about redistricting. They're not. They're upset about who's doing it. If it's Republicans, it's voter suppression. If it's Democrats, then it's expanding access. If you vote for a tighter map here in my home state of Florida, you are evil. But if you gerrymander Chicago so hard Republicans can't win dog catcher, that's referred to as progress. Let me say this for the people in the back, y'all in the back. If your principles only apply to when your team is winning, you don't have any principles. What you have is preference. One more time. If your principles only apply when your team is winning, you don't have any principles. You have a preference. So, where's the media? Just like always, they're too busy carrying water for their Democrat buddies to cover this, of course, evenly. So when Texas does it, they use words like extremed and rigged. So when Illinois does it, they say words like it's strategic and it's smart. Folks, words matter. And the media has weaponized language to condition people like Pavlov's dogs. Ring the bell, scream racism, and wait for the outrage. But now the bell's broken, and we can see through the game. Let me tell you what's going to happen, because this is going to be very important. These maps, these fights, they're not about 2024 anymore. That cake is baked. This is about control of Congress in 2026. This is about building permanent power structures that don't rely on elections. They rely on maps. Manipulated, surgically drawn, pre-baked maps that lock in one-party rule. It's voter proofing your power. Because what they know is they're losing in the battle of ideas. So what should we do? First of all, we should do what we're doing here today. We should expose the hypocrisy. We have to educate the voters. One of our biggest problems is that we have such an ignorant electorate. We demand transparency in the redistricting process at the state level. And yes, we go ahead and fight these legal battles, even if the deck is stacked. Let me be clear. Both parties play the redistricting game. We do. But only one party gets called evil for doing it. Only one party gets hauled into courtrooms, called races, and painted as cartoon villains on TV. Frankly, enough. Now, I'm not here to make excuses for people. What we're here to do is to call the bluff. All right. Let me land this plane with a little truth. Again, the Democrats don't hate redistricting. They don't hate gerrymandering. What they do is they hate it when they're not holding the pens. And they'll cry voter suppression in Texas while we're drawing Illinois like a Soviet mural. And the media lapdogs will clap. But you and I, you see it. So next time you hear the outrage machine revving up, just remember, it's not about fairness. It's about power. And like all power games, the rules change depending on who's winning. Ladies and gentlemen, stay sharp, stay strong. And for heaven's sakes, don't ever let them redraw your thinking. This is the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. Please subscribe, share, support independent media that tells it like it is. And remember, they're not mad about the map. They're mad that you finally noticed the lines. Good day now.